I'm curious. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm curious to see how it goes, right? And look, again, Dave Chappelle is the GOAT. Like, Chappelle's show, especially his first two specials, and he can have any opinion he wants. But I do think, and in general, it's not just Chappelle, it is the guys at the very top that take these like Gabriel Iglesias said a similar thing about the money, and it's like, you guys got enough fucking money.
Feeling that I get when you're near me, and the feeling when I'm holding you tight. It's the feeling that I get when you're near.
Stavros Halkias recently made a comment about successful comedians that went viral. His basic argument was simple. A lot of comedians become obsessed with arenas, private jets, and getting richer. But according to Stavros, none of that actually makes you funnier. As he put it, nobody gets funnier on a private jet.
No man is ever happy.
I just like, at what point do we have like a responsibility to just, I don't know, isn't that the whole thing with stand-up? Isn't she speaking truth to power, which I found corny?
A personal act.
Like, isn't that supposed to theoretically be part of it?
Sure.
It's like, I do, the same way I'm like worried about the younger generation of stand-ups not caring about the art form.
Mm-hmm.
I do think there's an element that troubles me where this has become like people just want to be as successful as possible. They want to play arenas for arena's sake.
And considering Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer are probably two of the comedians most associated with exactly that lifestyle, people naturally assumed Stavros was taking a shot at them. Well, on the latest episode of Two Bears, One Cave, Tom and Bert finally addressed it. And surprisingly, they basically agreed with him.
So let's get into the dirt. Now, because we're going to talk about Stavvy and him trashing all his friends in a second. We're going to talk about... No, that's what's selling in podcasts right now is just going viral, man. You want to go viral, fucking stir the fucking pot.
Yeah.
Eat the rich, baby. Shoot your CEOs.
Yeah.
And so, and you know I love you, Stavvy. I bet he could break that record consecutively around the world, which would be the move for Chappelle, in my opinion.
If he's interested in doing that.
But if he wants Stavvy to like him, he's got to fly coach.
People just want to be as successful as possible. They want to play arenas for arena's sake. They just want to be the kind of guy, like, they want to be on a private jet. I really want adversity because nobody gets funnier on a private jet.
This is what's so great about stand-up's fucking back, baby. It's hot. So Stavvy hates everyone we just mentioned. He hates them all.
Does he?
Yeah. He hates you. Read the comments. You're all cough, cough. Tom Segura. You fly private everywhere.
But I don't. But
I know.
But I think what he's saying is that, I mean, I saw this thing, but I think what he was saying is just that, like, a life of luxury doesn't make you funny, right? Yes. Adversity is what is relatable and keeps you funny. I think that's kind of
first
the point
of all,
of what he's saying.
I have to say real quick, I'm busting Stavvy's balls. I agree with what he's saying.
Yeah, I love Stavvy.
I agree 100% with what Stavvy's saying. And the truth is, flying private and doing arenas doesn't make you funnier. As a matter of fact, I think it is like, creatively, it's like swimming in overalls. Like, you're not going forward as quickly as you think. You may be, and no slight, look, I'm in this group. I have flown private and I have performed in arenas. So I am what he's talking about, and I agree with him.
Success itself doesn't necessarily make somebody less funny, but becoming increasingly separated from normal life probably can. Comedy usually comes from friction, bad relationships, embarrassing jobs, terrible landlords, the things most people deal with every day. And the more successful a comedian becomes, the easier it is to remove those little problems from their life. What's interesting is that Tom goes even further than Stavros. His bigger problem isn't comedians getting rich. It's comedians getting rich and then pretending they haven't.
There's the guys that fly private in comedy, and this always makes me laugh. Like I don't advertise it, obviously. Like, I'm not out there being like, whatever. You do it when you do it on tour.
Yeah.
But there's the guys who are like, I'm a real lunch pail guy, like a real ham and egger. And that's their whole persona. And they are extraordinarily wealthy, and they fly private everywhere, and they live a life of luxury. But their whole thing is just to hose people into thinking that they're like grinding it out, trying to get by. I find that to be so much more like deliberate and misleading that you're like, you're not this guy, dude. You're just trying to lie. Like you're lying to everybody.
You're lying.
Yeah.
And there is something funny about hearing that from Tom Segura, because Tom has probably received more criticism for openly talking about wealth than almost any comedian of his generation. Cars, watches, private travel, big houses. Tom has never exactly hidden the fact that he became rich.
I did a podcast with Bart. It was a few weeks ago, and I think I had just seen somebody be like the podcast. Sometimes they'll be like the podcast. Really don't like when you talk about like that you got a watch or you guys will talk about like any success you've had, because like I'm having a hard time. So therefore, and I was like, what a fucking loser, like to read somebody going like, hey, you talking about something that's good or a success in your life, it makes me feel bad about my life.
And maybe that's partly his defense. You can accuse him of being out of touch, but you can't really accuse him of pretending he's still broke. This conversation also goes beyond private jets. Tom and Bert talk about how success actually changes stand-up itself.
You want to stay true to your fans. So as you change, no one thinks that, let's just use jokes. He's a safe thing. No one thinks Joe's the same guy that he was when he first started working at UFC or when he first started the podcast. Joe's changed a ton. And I don't think he's ever not owned it. He now hunts. He now takes hunting trips. He's done podcasts on private jets from a hunting trip that I've listened to. Joe's been very honest about every part of who he is. And there's huge parts of Joe that haven't changed at all. Listen, I've been honest with my testosterone use, my Manjaro, my anxiety, my drinking. Well, I'm not totally honest with my drinking, but I've tried to be as honest with the things that matter.
Yeah.
And so I just find it so comical that I don't know, whatever. I just want to break some more records.
And this is probably the bigger issue Stavros was getting at. What happens when the goal stops being comedy and starts becoming success itself? You can see versions of this throughout stand-up. Aries Spears has openly talked about wealth and wanting the financial rewards that come with success. He's flexed money and status on podcasts before, and even former Mad TV castmate Deborah Wilson challenged him about that attitude during his appearance on Tiger Belly.
And I'm driving a fucking base model Chevy motherfucking Spark. Roll your windows up, bitch. So what are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Where you from? Where you come from? I live in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
Don't tell me shit. And I'm happier than a motherfucker with a mansion. Don't tell me shit about your life.
I want to be the motherfucker with the mansion. No.
Why? How many rooms do you need?
It's just always been my dream since a kid that I want to be that dude. I want to be as big as Kevin Hart.
But you are that dude. My thing is,
in terms of talent and ability.
Right, but
my pockets don't show that.
But you know what? Your equation, I get it. But your equation you'll never be satisfied. I'm just going to tell you right now. I'm going to be real.
Hold on.
No.
What's your number?
Stop.
What's the number?
Your
What's
equation will never be satisfied. Why? Because some other motherfucker will come along that'll take and blow the world up, and you'll want to be that. And then some other motherfucker will come around and have as talented as you or possibly more, and then you're going to get upset. Because again, you focus on everything that is not you.
Dave Chappelle has also become increasingly open about money and capitalism.
You know what I learned about liberal white people? Liberal white people let black people do whatever the fuck they want until you buy most of their town. Oh, they frowned on that. And whites got real suspicious. But you know what? I don't blame them. No, for real, because look, if I was white, and the people in this town were black, you know what they'd say? They would say I was gentrifying the town. I own so much property in this town, and this is true. These white people think I'm responsible for their well-being. That's ridiculous. I'm not no public servant. I'm a capitalist. I be walking down the street minding my own business, and they come up to me with their concerns. Dave, congratulations on buying the whole goddamn town. But you need to start thinking about some affordable housing around here. And I'll be like, well, actually, champ, I can afford my house.
The interesting question is what happens when the comedian's life becomes completely different from the audience watching them? At some point, the person complaining about their boss becomes the boss. The guy joking about being broke owns several houses. The comedian talking about uncomfortable flights hasn't stood in a boarding queue for 5 years. So where does the material come from now? Some comedians adapt. They start talking about fame, family, aging, politics, being rich itself. Others continue trying to perform the same person they were before success arrived. And I think that's where Stavros' argument becomes strongest. The problem isn't the private jet. The problem is believing the private jet is an achievement in comedy, because selling more tickets doesn't necessarily mean you've become funnier. Playing an arena doesn't automatically make you a better comedian than somebody destroying a room with 150 people in it. Money measures commercial success. It doesn't measure jokes.